Howdy y'all, my name is Brunhefferton Mistrunner, Tormore of the Mistrunner tribe. And today I'm going to talk to y'all about taking heroic Underbog. Underbog is one of the dungeons in Coalfang Reservoir. You gotta swim down, and it's the one that's on the right hand side. The first thing that you've got to do is zone out and turn it to heroic. The dungeon doesn't automatically know that you want to do heroic, so you have to zone out and do this. And now it's set to heroic. It has the scary skeleton face on it. Yeah. Alright. First things first. Heroics hit really hard. So, if you want to play it safe, use a defense elixir. If you want to play it extra safe, you could use a cutting edge defense elixir. What's the new one? The new one gives you 550 armor, old one 450. Not a huge difference. We'll just mongoose it up. Get a cookie. And we're gonna start pulling. So the first pack, we got beasts. A lot of times these underbats will stack up, and it looks like it's just one, but you're actually pulling 3. So just pay attention to that. This first pat's not too hard. Can save a little bit of rage for the next one. We can charge, defensive stance, shield slam this guy. Another single pull. Pretty clean. Alright, now we got a triple elemental pull. These are shamblers and lurkers. The lurkers, they enrage. The shamblers do a regrowth. The shamblers don't hit super hard, the lurkers hit hard as hell. So the CC you can use against these would be the Hunter Traps, Warlock Banish. We can just freeze one, that's fine. We'll take what we get. These cannot be sheeped. So if you have a mage, too bad. If you have a rogue, I don't think you can sap these. There's a fungal regrowth. You want to interrupt that, it heals for a lot. When this guy breaks, we'll show you how hard he's hitting. 3.6k on heavy plate. 3.7k. These are non-crits. 2.4k. The healer may be AFK. So I'll bandage. Yeah, he just relogged. It's okay. We have bandages. Also, if you have a riding crop, please remember to unequip it. Now since it's heroic and not regular, we can skip some stuff because it gives the same rep as regular. If you wanted reputation for Cenarian Expedition, a pretty fast way to do that is a regular Steam Vaults. Okay. I'm gonna pull it way back so we don't get those underbats. Itchy Spores is a disease which can be cleansed. There's fungal regrowth. We can concussion blow because my shield bash was on cooldown. And then we'll take this one up close. These hit very hard. Use what defenses you have. I can War Stomp as a Torn. Shield block. And Demo Shout's going to take a little bit of the damage off. And you notice as their health goes down, the enrage fades. So they're the most dangerous when they're at full HP. See that? Now he's smaller and he's not red anymore. There's the underbat pull that patrols. 1, 2, 3. Checking healer mana. We're at half. We'll wait. A fast clear is a steady clear. You don't need to rush into every pole and try to get a speed record. You want to have a nice, smooth dungeon. Can't banish these. But you can do Hunter Trap. These ones don't hit as hard as the lurkers that enrage, but they do hit pretty hard. Let's get them. For 2 packs like this, I like to do tab targeting, tab devastate the X, tab devastate the triangle. You can keep an eye on which one you need to build more threat on the threat meter here. A good trick to do is to tell your group what the DPS order is so they can focus DPS together. I like to do skull X triangle square. Mana's fine. You can get Battle Shout for some initial threat. We're doing some Tab Devastate. Shield blocking it, keeping it nice and steady. Sit for about 1600 or so. $3K. Oof. Also, make sure that you share the daily quest, if it is the daily heroic. Nice little point of etiquette there. Alright, for these next pulls, we're going to hug the right side. We'll go ahead and pull like this. Throw a battle shot to get some initial threat. He got frozen, so I'll tab to the X, shield slam it once, tab to the skull, devastate it, revenge and cleave. And then I'll put a demo shout up. Let's get this nice trinket on here. Adamantite figurine. Pretty cool item, drops off Shadow Labs. Good bit of defense. And also make sure that your Hellstone is the correct type. You have Warlocks with different specs. Sometimes they've got a HP Hellstone of some amount, and other times it's less or more. Who knows? Alright, Bog Giants coming in. As you can tell by their enormous size, they hit pretty hard. When they hit. Miss, dodge. It's got a disease here, fungal decay. Priests can cure that. So can paladins and shaman. Druids cannot fix disease problems for you. Curse and poison. Alright, we can get a banish on this one. Just go ahead and charge, get some rage. Or not. Alright, we got one of them trapped. And one of them banished. So we'll fight what's left. Demo shout up. Concussion blow. Keeping up that battle shout. We're him with Lurker. Or stomp it. Bam. Gotta watch out for this guy over here. Bog Giant. We have some space to work with. Let's get a single banish. Could also get a trap. Gotta watch out for that Bog Giant as well. Should be clear around now. And I'll try to run them into the trap. Got him. And a banish as well. Huge part of success in heroics is your ability to use crowd control. That's one of the main differences between regulars and heroics. Heroic stuff hits super hard, so if you can CC 2 out of 3 of what's in the pool, you're going to be taking 1/3 of the damage. Pretty nice. Fungal regrowth there. You see that cast? Healed for over half his HP. Pretty good spell. You want to interrupt it when you can. His banish broke, so I'll tank him. Tell the rebanish. It is good to hit him a couple times like that, even if the banish doesn't get off. That way, when the banish breaks, we can pick him up. Nice and easy. 14 seconds on that banish. We'll get this Bog Giant next. Want to watch out for those. They come all the way down to the end of the ramp. $18, 17 hits from this guy. Got plenty of room here. There are some poles back there that we're skipping. Looking at healer mana, we'll give him a second. 1, 2, and 3. I just did a charge into defensive stance into shield slam. Now I've got all 3. It's a lot of incoming damage, so I'm going to last stand. And I can also Hellstone. And I'm just tabbing through, making sure I have threat on these. And I can also throw a War Stomp. And I can Concussion Blow, reducing my incoming damage. And now we're down to 1 and it's nice and stable. But you can see there the triple pulls, those hurt. Even if you got decent items. Last stand is a defensive cooldown you want to use pretty liberally. It's only 10 minutes. We'll even use a food buff here for some stam. Double Bog Giant pull. You can't freeze trap these, so you're just going to have to tank it. I did do one of these runs with a Feral Druid, and he just tanked one of them. That made it pretty easy. But we'll tank both. Good to remind people to give a little bit of time for threat. And I'll charge to get some initial rage. Shield slam him and devastate once, and then I'll tab over and I'll devastate this guy a couple times and throw up a Teemo Shout. Alright, we got both of them. Pretty sturdy. So we're gonna taunt the skull off. Mocking blow. Tab back to defensive, shield slam. And now we're working on X because Skull is about to die. And I'll save rage now, because we have a boss coming up next. So I'll just auto attack. Make sure I don't lose threat. If I do, I'll taunt. So that way we get to start the boss fight with a nice rage lead. Watch out for mushrooms. Bull timer is up.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Battle shout. Opening with battle shout is pretty consistent because it doesn't miss. You always get the threat from it from buffing your party members. I'll just use my armor trinket. And now for this fight, we want to watch out for the mushrooms. Make sure nobody's standing right next to them. Boss hits pretty hard. 2.2k, just regular attack. There's some mushrooms there. I'll pull them away. Keep up that demo shout. It's got a bunch of spores. And you want to watch out for this poison cloud. Don't forget to loot your badge of justice. On heroics, every boss drops them. What does this guy drop on heroic? Hungarfen. Heroic. Badge. A few gems. Damage and healing. AP hands, male. Spell hit, damage and healing, male. Spell crit, healing plate, paladin. An idol. And an offhand fist weapon. Very slow, maybe good for enhanced shaman. Alright, this is the tricky part where these underbats look like it's a 2-pole, but it's 4 or 3. Yeah, there's the third one. So I just pulled. And I'll battle shout to get some initial threat. There's a hunter trap. Got one of them. I'll shield slam. Pick him up. There's a fourth one. Didn't even see that. Oh, we can mark it. When this one gets back, actually we'll just war stomp. And skull broke, so we'll taunt pick it up. And I'll also concussion blow. Reduce some incoming damage. And demo shout, shield block. With the shield slam, cleave. Revenge. And I can use defensive trinket now. Using a defensive trinket just consistently through the poles means your healer doesn't have to spend as much mana to keep you up. So instead of saving it for emergencies only, I can use it consistently on poles. And that way our tempo overall is faster. Up to your preference, of course, but that's how I do it. Exceptions would be if I'm about to fight a boss that's going to enrage. But 2-minute cooldown for a trinket is not too bad. You can skip this guy, but sometimes people will ask to do him because there's a herb spawn around there sometimes. Another bog giant. I wanted a demo shout to show the difference in damage with and without demo shout up, but he just keeps missing. That's the power of defense and avoidance. Back in vanilla, people said, mitigation, that's silly, it's all about threat. But in BC, stuff hits like a bunch of trucks and trains and buses. Mitigation is key as a tank. You can't hold threat at all when you're dead. I've spoken. defensive trinket, just because I can. Plus a demo shout. Plus a thunderclap since I didn't get a thunder fury proc. Snap taunt. Warlocks do a lot of damage this patch. And they also deal a lot of threat. Healer mana is good. DPS mana is not the best, but you can go. I'll War Stomp this. Demo Shout it. Devastate this guy so I get some threat. Get it off the healer. You can also Concussion Blow. Refresh Battle Shout. And Disarm is pretty nice on these guys. They've got a two-hander. So they're hitting about half as hard when you disarm them. Pull this one back. Couple sword and board guys. Got one trap. Take this guy. Some people were asking me about using Revenge over Devastate. Revenge is just nutty for how much threat you get per rage. If you spec into this, Focus Rage reduces the rage cost of offensive abilities. Revenge is normally 5 rage, and it does a lot of threat. But this makes it 2 rage. That's ridiculous. Got one. Just trying to pull him into the traps. Yep, that almost worked. Well, we can spell reflect the Frostbolt guy. I'll devastate him. I interrupt that. Devastate him. Then I want to get the skull on me. Warlock use Seduce. We use our defensive trinket. Get a War Stomp. He looks like a guy to disarm, but I missed. So we'll get a demo shout and I'll just tank it. Watch out for that patrol back there. Keep that shield block up. Concussion blow. Spell reflect the Frostbolt. Nice. Hits for about 1700, 1800. I don't want him to run into another pack. So I intercept. There's a pack right there and there's a patrol right there. You have to be really careful in this area. It's a lot more cramped than the open areas where you're fighting the bats and the bog giants. So let's look and see how far this patrol gets, because we might want to wait and pull this pack first. We'll back it up. Get some initial rage. Mana looks fine. And we do have room to hold there. Battle Shout for initial threat. Shield Slam Skull. Tab. Devastate. Get a disarm. We got a Death Coil on that. He's seduced over there. Having a very romantic moment in a key battle. This one is going to be of another 4 pull. There's a guy back here. And there should be one. Oh, it might be 3. See what we get. I'm gonna spell reflect that. Shadow Bolt. Got it. 1921. Now I'm gonna line of sight him. Okay, we got him. I can interrupt this one. I don't get threat on this guy. I don't want him to run that way. I spell reflected the corruption on him. I'll interrupt that Shadow Bolt. Spell Reflect is actually a really nice way to get some threat on those ranged ones that don't come to you right away. Interrupt the Holy Light. Shield Bash was on cooldown, so I use Concussion Blow. Healer, Oracle, Tribesman. Watch out for that patrol back there. I should have room to charge. I'll do a charge Thunderclap Demo Shout. I can disarm the Oracle. Get my Battle Shout up. I'll Spell Reflect whatever he's doing. We got it. Now I'll interrupt that one. Make sure I hold the triangle. And we just devastate Shield Slam. We have a good bit of room here on this lower level now. There's the next boss swimming around. Devastate, tab Devastate, Devastate, tab Shield Slam, Devastate, Revenge, taunt this guy, Demo Shout, War Stomp, interrupts, and I can disarm this guy. And I will tab Concussion Blow this guy. We are just in control of this pull. He's got Death Coil on him. Threat's looking good. And that's that. Alright, this next area we're gonna approach is pretty dangerous. There's a pole right at the top here, and there's a patrol up here, so be careful and make sure you're against the left wall as you come up. So we just got that pole just by walking up. I'm gonna mark it. Tab Skull, tab X. The healer was up there, that was a mistake. They should be down here. You should always pull this pole down. He did have a Soul Stone. And since we're down here and we have lots of room, I can AoE Fear. I'm also going to mark stuff just so it's a little bit easier to keep track of it. Let's get a Health Stone in. I can put up Spell Reflect in case one of them is casting on me. I'm going to make sure I have threat on every single guy. He's getting feared. There's the healer. I'm going to Concussion Blow. Do a War Stomp. And we're good. So yeah, that pull, absolutely everyone should be down here. It gives you plenty of room to fight, and it is a 4-pack to 5-pack. Alright, same deal. Be very careful. Alright, there's a patrol up there. We have room. Those patrol up to there, so we're going to take this pack next. 3 pull, and we do have charge room here. So I'll charge. I'll interrupt that to get him back. And then when he casts his next spell, I'm going to Spell Reflect it if I have the Rage. There we go. I reflect the Frostbolt. He's feared. Could be dicey. These healers don't hit too hard, so you wouldn't worry too much about not having threat on them per se. Mainly you want to worry about the guys with the big weapons. Two-hand or dual-wielding ones. Caster units, even on heroic, whenever they go onto one of your DPS, it's not the end of the world. So if you have the choice between tanking one of these guys and tanking the healer, but you can't tank both, then tank the guy with the big weapons. There's a healer back there. 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be a good one for CC. I'll pull it back. Got him in a trap. Use my defensive trinket. Should be up in time for the boss. Prayer of healing. Interrupted. Can intercept, get on this guy. Make sure he goes to me whenever the fear expires. We'll throw a concussion blow, make it nice and easy. And the fear pulled more. So we're gonna mark some. And I do have a fear. So I feared. The DPS are pretty low mana, but we have fear for days. Just want to make sure I keep everything off the healer. And I want to use everything in my toolkit. Disarm this guy. I'm going to make sure this guy's on me. There are 3 next to me. I'm going to war stomp. Shield slam this guy. Getting some threat. Make sure I get this guy. I'm going to concussion blow. Concussion blow the spearmen. They hit harder than the healer. I can just interrupt the healer. There's a prayer of healing. Interrupted. Re-up battle shout. Fear is a pretty good CC, but as you can see, it's a risky one. He recovered well. Intimidating Shout is a very powerful ability. So is Psychic Scream from Priest, but you have to make sure that you're not going to aggro more. We'll need to mana up. We got a couple pulls and then the next boss. Actually, just one. There's one more. Where is it? Down there? I remember this would happen a lot in Ubers. One of the guys would kind of run away and he would just keep running off into a corner. We should break combat whenever we get in the water. Oh, we can't charge. But we can intercept. Got 2 Devastates on X, tab into skull. Revenge, heroic strike, shield block, disarm. Can't disarm the boss, may as well smoke it. Alright, now I'm in rage saving mode for the boss. I got 100 rage, so I will shield slam revenge. But I'm going to hold off on heroic strike so I can walk into this boss with 100 rage. Alright, next boss is a knockback and a poison volley. As you can see, he's on a platform, so the knockback would be a big problem if you get knocked into the water. So I'm going to pull him with a range, and I'm going to pull him back against this wall here. So my back is against that wall. They need to move. Got 3 battle shouts. Hunter misdirecting me. Very nice. Come on, buddy. Come on. He's hitting for 2.2k. Regular. Shield slamming it. Getting my devastates. Shield blocks. This poison hits pretty hard, and it's nature damage. It cannot be dispelled, and it's stacking. So healer really needs to pump. He's enraged. He's attacking faster and whatnot. So yeah, he slaps. If you wanted to, you could pop a stone shield, make it a little bit easier on you. There's an ad. Oh, he's back. What else did he drop? Gazan. Some crystals. Leather waist, AP, Agi. Couple sockets. Healing, male helm. Resto shaman. Paladin belt. Spell hit neck. Pretty good ring. Feral staff. I think this feral staff looks funny. Yeah. It's got a tongue. Great staff of the Leviathan. Jumping down the hallway, going to the left. And now we're back to more of the bats and whatnot. But we have a few new units coming up here. These ones cannot really be CC'd by much of anything. And they do a psychic horror, which is kind of like a fear, but it's not the same. Here, there's a third one here. The person runs super fast when affected by the psychic horror. Just want to try to maintain threat as best we can. You can do regular stuns against them, but you can't do sheep and trap and stuff like that. See, he has threat of that one. See, that's the psychic horror effect. He runs super fast. And you can't break it with normal fear break abilities, but you can interrupt that. So we just got a shield bash on the psychic horror. It's a short cast, but if you're on the target, you can interrupt it. It is fast enough that if you already spent your global, you can't interrupt it. Any miners? Rich adamantite, not bad. I have room to charge this one. Got a shield slam. Let's get a thunderclap demo shout. Reduce the incoming damage of all these mobs. Also use my defensive trinket. There's psychic horror interrupted, and you have to watch out for that B pack, so you want to pull this one back for sure. And you're pulling things back not just so you don't aggro them, but also in the case that you get psychic horror, you don't get feared into more. So we use an ancient technique here known as way the fuck back. It's a very good technique. Interrupted that. Oh man, really? I have so much stuff. Come on, Elementium. Wow. Okay, these wasps do a poison spit. The other one does melee. Just gonna get my demo shout up. You can reflect the poison spit. I just did a spell reflect. They can kill those pretty fast. These packs aren't super hard. The main issue comes up whenever you get Psychic Horde into this pack. And you have to deal with the Rays and these at the same time. But these on their own, compared to the Bog Giants and the Shamblers and Ramblers and Lurkers and stuff, not too bad. I don't think those bees have a type though. So I don't know if you can CC them with much aside from trap. There's a bunch of stuff up there, so I'm gonna charge to get some initial rage, but I'm gonna pull this back. So I charge in, get a Thunderclap, get a Demo Shout. There's Psychic Core. I'm gonna make sure I get these. You could ask your DPS to wait for a couple seconds to set up the pull. I've run with these guys a bunch of times, so they kind of just zug. And that's fine. So we're holding all three, interrupting that. You can use Concussion Blow to interrupt as well if it's available. Okay, so I'm on triangle now. Watching for the next Psychic Core. Nope. Alright, another area that's pretty congested. There's a patrol that comes by. And a big 4-pack here. I'm gonna pull this way back again. Healer mana is over half. That's the patrol. I'm gonna wait for it to pat back before we pull. Okay. Waiting until it clears this one. Now we're pulling. One trap. See, the skull is immune to it. It just broke it. These rays, you can't CC what those means. Healer is feared. I'm gonna line of sight this X. Intercepted on it. Back in defensive. Gonna spell reflect the poison spit. Hits for about 900. Not bad. It is a poison, so it can be dispelled. If you have cleansed poison. These ones didn't pull. The same thing, we'll wait for patrol. I'll pull this back a bit. There is one ray in the pull, so it could Psychic Core. We got one trap. I'm gonna Battle Shout just to build some threat on this stuff. Interrupted that. Defensive Trinket. And we get a nice War Stomp here. I want to get over to this guy. Make sure I have threat. And since we've cleared most of this area, I can AoE Fear. I'll Spell Reflect that one. Interrupt that one. I'll last stand because I'm kind of low. I can also Healing Potion. Got a whole bunch of them in my bags. Poison Spit stacking up is pretty ouch. It's ticking for what, 79 each? Yep. All clear. Do you think you can get the chest without aggroing? It's gonna aggro. It's totally gonna aggro. Is it worth a pull? Yes, we're going. Thunderclap, Demo Shout, Shield Slam, Tab, Intervene, Taunt, Concussion Blow. We're coming up on a boss here. Gonna be a little bit careful. Shield Bashed, more Stomped, interrupted that. Battle Shout. And now I'll be in rage saving mode because we're coming up on the boss. Alright. Now this is gonna hurt. It's a hunter with a pet. But spoiler alert, the pet is not actually aligned with this hunter. It's a druid in bear form. So this guy does kind of a Beastmaster Hunter set of stuff. He does a frost trap that freezes everybody. He does an aim shot that hits one of the party members pretty hard. And there's a bear running around doing stuff, so I want to try to hold threat on both. There is a Bog Lord over here if you want to make it easier on yourself so you don't ass pull. You can kill this guy. These Bog Lords are kind of like the Bog Giants, but better at everything. They hit harder. Going for this. He's hitting for 5.3k. That's a lot. I want a Demo Shout up for sure. He also does a Stacking Disease. It's hitting for 244. With the 5 stacks of it up. I'll give the healer a little bit of time for mana. Hellstone is good. Well, I would get that if my bags weren't full. Just got a bunch of moss and stuff in my bags. Demo Shout on both. Echoing Roar. They're immune to fear. I can intervene the priest, but he did charge back to me. Just want to make sure I'm holding threat when I can. He freezes everybody. I taunt him back. I have threat on both. Demo Shout is up. I'm going to Stone Shield. I'm also going to Health Stone. Intercept back in. He's just charging around, but he keeps your threat on you. It's just kind of like a charge hit. He's gonna aim shot. It hits pretty hard. Channel onto the hunter pet. And after he's been dead for a little bit, the bear should de-aggro. So a bit of a chaotic fight, but not too bad. Just make sure you put a few Devastates or a Shield Slam on the bear. That way it stays on you and then you focus the majority of your threat on this guy. It's all physical damage, pretty much. So Stone Shield is good. 2k armor, not bad. Alright, get your Badge of Justice. One boss to go. Another Bog Lord. He's hit really hard. Keep in mind healer mana. Their aggro radius is also pretty big, kind of like the Molten Giants and MC. So be careful. Get a Demo Shout. These guys are immune to stuns and stuff. use a defensive trinket. Healer's really got to pump it here. He was hitting me that hard even with stone shield and an armor elixir on. What a boss. Thump. But you only have to fight 2 of them. Now we're coming up on the last boss. The Black Stalker. You see all these dead rays everywhere? And the nice waterfalls. So he does a chain lightning thing. He levitates one party member, which does damage, and they're crowd controlled for it. And there's some ads that are summoned. But the ads are non-elite, they don't hit super hard. Main focus is going to be on the boss. We're still waiting on somebody. Okay. One thing you could do... Oh. I was going to say one thing you can do is Blood Rage until it expires, so you have a little bit of rage, and then you could Battle Shout. Or you could Battle Stance, and then charge. You'll start off the fight with more rage. But we pulled. How hard is he hitting? Parry. Chain lightning. You want to make sure you don't have melee standing right next to you so the lightning doesn't chain. Let's try and Spell Reflect. Yeah. It did Spell Reflect to this guy, but it still hurt me. And that's the boss. Honestly, this guy is not as hard as the Bog Lords. What does he drop? A 2-handed sword. Strength, crit. Looks gnarly. Oh, there's an ad here. Mana Etch Pantaloons. Spell Pen, damage and healing, spell crit. Mage, maybe? Spell hit, MP5. Primal Nether for crafting. Is this good? I don't know. Well, hope y'all enjoyed this. Underbog is a pretty tricky place. For group comp, I advise having Warlock for Banish is nice, and Fear is also nice. Hunter Traps are very good. Mage can help sheep some of the stuff. They can sheep the beasts and the Naga. But it's a pretty hard-hitting place. Watch out for those Bog Lords. Don't be afraid to use defensive like your Trinket, your Last Stand, or some Stone Shield. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to repair before you leave town, and clear out your inventory, unlike me. From me, Brunt. I'll see you on the next one. Ancestors watch over you.